Hi y'all, good morning, welcome back to another beautiful day, southern Louisiana. We've got our sketch in our notebook. We're gonna start taking some measurements to really kind of get an idea of exactly what we're working with here. Before I call the 181 dig folks, I did call and leave a voice message for a fence guy. I'm gonna come in here, it's a little bit bright. I did call a fence guy to see if he'd come by and give me a quote to what it would cost to remove the old fence and install a new one. But I want to get some measurements because if I do it myself, I do need that site plan for the permit. I also found some really good vinyl fence no dig options on Home Depot's website. Kind of priced it out, but I need measurements to know exactly like what I would be how much I would need to order. So let's get some measurements and then let's see where the rest of the day takes us. All right, so we just measured quite a bit and I'm a little bit surprised. So the back part of the fence, and of course I know it's not exact, I'm just trying to get an estimate. The back part, I measured about 72 feet. Now, the patio, like from the side of the house where the HVAC unit is to where the back of there's this back bedroom here that juts out from the side of where the HVAC unit goes to the bed where that bedroom corner is, about 30 feet. And then to get from the edge of this covered patio, literally right there where we're at, this covered concrete patio, to where the edge of that bedroom meets that back bedroom is about 10.5 feet. So that's a 30 by 10.5 foot floating deck is what I was thinking, right? That's what I was thinking for this area here. And that is pretty, it actually kind of feels substantial. But anyway, so I did the measure. So this back bedroom is about 16 feet wide, about 30 feet from the edge of the bedroom to the edge of the house on this side, another 15 feet there, another 10 feet on this side. So it doesn't actually quite match up to 72 feet, but we're close by like 2 feet off. So I think my measurements are, that kind of makes sense to me that we would have a 2 foot discrepancy. And then, like we said, we measured up here, we measured at the front. Okay, I've crunched some numbers and I am not sure I can afford a fence. So I was thinking I wanted to do those no dig vinyl panels, like the white picket style. They range from like $100 to $130 a piece. And it's like a 4 foot or a 3.5 foot by 6 foot panel. So I just measured 82 feet, right, divided by 6 feet for each panel. And then the other side, 62 feet, divided by 6 feet for a panel. And between the two, I came up with about 23 panels needed. That's just for either side, right? And 23 panels times $130 is almost $3,000. So is that like seriously how expensive fences are? Like $3,000? And I wanted to do it that way because it's no dig. And I already have like one of the mallet things. So just mallet it in, set it up and go. But I don't know if that makes sense to spend $3,000 on 2 side panels. That is not even taking into account the 15 foot from the house and then the 10 foot from the other side. And if they're only 6 foot panels and then you need a gate to get in and out, I'm not, they're not that customizable. You know what I mean? Like they just are, you can't like cut it down. So maybe a wood fence would be cheaper. Let me try to calculate how much wood would cost, but then you have to auger, dig a hole, concrete it, and then wood rots. That's what I really was thinking. Hey, buddy, let me try to compare some wood prices. All right, so I tried to price out on the Home Depot app wood fence instead. And at least the Home Depot app is helpful where you just put in your linear feet, I think it said. Your linear feet, and then how many corners, and then how many gates you would need. So I have 169 linear feet, and I wanted to do like a picket fence and kind of like 4 feet tall. Like I don't want a big privacy fence. I just want a nice kind of classic. So I added it all up on the app, and it recommended a redwood cedar Gothic picket top fence. It's just a lot of materials. I think I totally I've never bought a fence like this for a residential, and I think I may have just underestimated how much actual square like linear feet that I have. Maybe that's why they didn't bring it all the way up front, right? Because it's just like bring it back. But it's gonna be, and what's nice, it doesn't include, the estimate didn't include like the concrete that you would need, the post hole digger, and all of that. But it was about like $4,000. And I think when I was just calculating in my mind the vinyl, that was just, well, it's a kit, and it includes everything where this wood stuff doesn't. So it might be cheaper to do the white vinyl, no dig, just because it's a kit. It comes with the it comes with the posts, it comes with the brackets, it comes with the pickets, and it comes with the little screw nails. It comes with everything that you need for the $130. So even though the red cedar picket was like $90 for a section, 6 or 8 foot, I can't remember, by 3.5 feet tall, it's cheaper there, but you still have to buy the posts. That was just the panels, was $80 or $90. You still have to buy the posts. You still have to dig the hole, do the concrete, buy the fasteners or like the screws or something. I'm not even sure actually how you connect it. So so it might be cheaper to do the vinyl. Now I'm starting to question, do we even need a fence? Okay, I want to try to measure out a few other things. Today's just a day of measuring and pricing stuff out. How about that? We were kind of brainstorming what to do along this back fence, and I was thinking we need a new fence to keep the dogs in and whatnot. But what I'm starting to think I want to do, and I kind of maybe briefly chatted about this at the Home Depot with the cinder blocks. I think what I want to do is like a tiered garden bed. So one main level and then a second level up, to kind of naturally work into the slope of the land, and then have some trellises going up for flowers or whatnot. It gets a lot of good sunlight most all of the day, but then it is shaded. The concern I was thinking about with the cinder blocks is that's fairly permanent, and it's pretty heavy and pretty solid, which could be good, but we're not really planning to be here forever. So I don't know if I want to put something so permanent like that down. A fence is one thing, but a cinder block raised garden bed like that may not be for everybody. So I think I am just going to do wood. I think do some filler, fill in some of the materials, and do wood, kind of typical raised beds out of wood. And then if it breaks down, it breaks down over time, but at least it's not kind of like creating a permanent concrete cinder block. It's not really cinder, but concrete block down there. So I'm still curious to think what you guys think, but I think what I'm going to do is try to measure out exactly what that would look like for building a raised bed into the ground here. And I don't know, do you guys think, I called and left a message. One guy called me back, another guy hasn't called me back yet, about getting fill dirt. Because I was thinking, if we need to fill this in more? Is the slope as bad as I think it is? It might not be. Do I really need gravel down here, or is it just because they dug it out to put the fence? And maybe if we just put some of the natural materials down, it'll flow. The water won't be standing because it'll be either flowing through from one side to the other, or there will be natural breakdown of material. So maybe it might even be more fertile, like for the raised beds. So I don't know if we need fill dirt necessarily. And I think too, but tell me what you guys think, because maybe obviously I don't know what I'm doing. I never have. But I think once we get gutters up here too, I'm going to call, I think, the leaf filter folks, the leaf gutter people. I kind of like that system. It seems like it could be a good system, especially since we're right here by these trees. Once we have gutters up here, the water's not just going to barrel down right onto the ground here. And so once we can divert the water from hitting right here and just sitting, I think it's not gonna be eroding anymore. So let's try to plan out, let's measure out and see if we can't plan out the rest of this, maybe a raised garden bed back here. And we might have day 2 of ripping fence out. We'll see how strong I feel. Okay, y'all, either I've lost my mind or I'm a genius. So here's what I was just out here looking at this fence and thinking, I need to fill this with like organic natural materials, right? I need to try to create like something, clean it out and create something. If I want to put raised beds naturally, just going back naturally, then why don't I just put these fence panels down? Especially if I'm going to be like, they're going to break down over time, especially if I'm going to be like building just a kind of a temporary fence panel on top. So what I think I'm going to do is saw down this fence here and just lay it down in the space that it's already in, and use that as kind of a filler base, and it will break down and it'll slowly like disintegrate, which is perfectly fine. It's natural wood. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And also, like, everything is just so expensive. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So let's, set you guys down and let's start trying to break down this fence panel. This one, all of them come out. All of the nails. Watch out, Chewy, please. Don't want you to get knocked on accident. right, I got that whole section off and I was starting on this next section here, but what I realized is whether it was us that did this or before, these are screws. So it went from being the nails to screws on here. So I'm gonna see if I can't maybe, I mean, this was working pretty well to kind of take off all the panels, take out all the nails, because I don't necessarily want a bunch of nails down there. But now that we're getting into this screw section, I might have to be creative and do something a little bit different. Okay, so I have taken down all of this section of the boards, taken off all of the nails, and then I sawed off the top 2x4 railing from the post. As you can maybe tell, and I'm using these 2x4s down here now kind of to create a border, like a front border for this section. Now, you may be able to tell all of the nails. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. I've left all the nails here on this bottom rung for now, just because it's painstaking to get them out. But what I was kind of just thinking, so see how I have all the wood planks down now? It's just covering the water. Obviously, it's not like solving getting rid of the water, but I don't know that that's the right answer anyway. I think we just need to work with knowing that this is a wet condition and building up a natural kind of bed. Oh, sorry, I'm breathing so hard. A natural bed that'll flow with the natural landscape that is here. And two, what I'm thinking is we'll chop down these posts down to the bottom here, but I think we can leave them in the ground because we can build up this bed up to that bottom height throughout the whole bottom. And I was maybe even thinking the nails that are still in here could be used for like stringing the start maybe of a lattice or securing a lattice here to it. So what do you guys think? I mean, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's part of, I don't know if you want to call it permaculture, but I think that's part of working with the land and not against it is, you know, how can we use the spaces that's already available to us, the materials that's already available to us. So what I was saying earlier, alluding to, is this is kind of solving a couple of problems for us. Is it's helping to reduce, let me sit down with you here, Chewy boy, and Nova. It's reducing the manual labor of chopping everything into small bits to be able to haul away in my truck. It's reducing just the general hauling away of all of this material. And two, I really wanted to reuse, you know, I really wanted to try to DIY and reuse the wood because it's a natural material. It's wood. It's not like plastic or something or metal. And I was racking my brain thinking, how can I build raised beds? I don't think the raised beds, maybe for the front yard or around the side for food, would be ideal with these rotten wood. But I do think using it as a natural filler. I mean, what difference would it be if it was a fallen tree? Right? It's going to create an ecosystem for stuff to thrive in there, bugs and stuff. And as much as I don't like bugs, that's a part of it, you know, and the water, and maybe little frogs will grow in there or something. I don't know. But like, maybe instead of trying to divert the water, trying to haul out all this material, trying to buy brand new something to put in here, let's just use what we've got because it's a natural material. And then I wasn't ever really planning necessarily to grow food back in here. In this section, I was just thinking about doing like flowers and pollinators. And then also because of we always have a lot of mosquitoes back here, which makes it almost unusable. But what is it called? Those kind of plants. Thinking about planting native, or maybe it's not even native. It's mosquito repellent, like insect repellent bugs is what I was thinking. Would be really nice to plant back here. So I think because this nasty water, stagnant water situation might not be ideal for growing vegetables for eating, I do think it would be really cool to just grow like bug repellent, mosquito repellent kind of native plants and flowers and pollinators and stuff. And this could just be a very beautiful, long, kind of natural, just landscaped, literally landscaped into the natural flow of things. And so, and the only thing that, you know, it's not a fence necessarily, but I think if we have stuff growing there and we have trellises and stuff, I don't think the dogs are going to want to be in there. But it's hard to say because these dogs, little rascals, these guys, right next to the hole that he dug. He loves dig a hole and lay in the sun. He loves dig a hole and lay in the sun. Hey, what are you doing? Are you want to get some loves? But you doesn't dig holes. You doesn't dig holes, no loves. Okay, and you have a leaf in your lip. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick lunch break. I'll see you back here in a few. Buddy boy, why don't you go lay in the sun with everybody else? Oh, buddy boy, good old boy. He just wants to go back in the house. So what you may have realized, my technique has changed, because what I was realizing is prying each of the wood pieces off with the hammer was almost like kind of removing the nails from it. And yeah, my hair's getting a little wild. Was kind of removing the nails from the wood, and then I was having to peel out all the nails, which is fine. But what I realized is use the hammer to hammer, not to be crowbar prying. And I don't know if you could tell very well, but when I hammer it, the wood is so weak and busted. I mean, it's still pretty strong, but it's comparatively, it's not brand new. It's weak, it's rusted or busted. The wood just flies off, and it leaves the nails behind, because the nails are stuck mostly in the 2x4 rails. So, that technique has been kind of cool. It's still a lot of work, but you can see I just got through this whole entire section pretty quickly. And each of those pieces, I don't think I saw a single nail. Not one single one, huh, Chewy? Pretty good. Hey all, welcome back to another day. I had to just call it quits yesterday, so another day today. We are still going to be taking off the back fence, breaking that down. We just had to take another quick trip to the Home Depot. So I found my husband's Sawzall, but we didn't have a blade. And so I looked up this one. It's a Milwaukee Sawzall carbide teeth, 50 times life. One pack, 12-inch, 5 TPI for wood with nails even. So I think this is going to be a much better tool for cutting down the rest of those posts for the fence in the backyard. So we're going to keep tackling that today. So I left a message this morning with the gal for the filled dirt. And I should be getting a truckload, which is about 15 cubic yards or whatnot, delivered either today, tomorrow, or the next day. She said she has to look at the logistics, and she'll call me back and confirm the delivery time window. But I didn't want to wait until I heard back to be prepared. So I just went ahead and got the shovel and the wheelbarrow for now. And then whenever is the time to get that soil delivered is when we'll get it. So let's head back to the fence and let's keep going. Day number 2, breaking down the fence panels and kind of filling in that natural eroded spot. Holy mackerel, did you guys see that? I'll show you what I accomplished though, and I think today is hotter than it's been because I am so sweaty. So let me turn this around and show you what we've got working with here. So I've been pulling all of like the rubbish trees and fallen branches, and it looks like at some point they must have cut down some other trees here. And bringing it forward, we've got a lot of big sticks and kind of vines. Hawaii never had vines like this, not on our property anyway. And I just don't know what it is, you guys. I think it's a theme of our life. Rubbish. I swear, whoever was living here before, I don't know, they'd be throwing rubbish in the back. Every property we're going to have is going to have rubbish. And you know what? I'm not complaining. It is what it is. Honestly, probably somebody might even consider what I'm doing rubbish. There's Chewy Boy trying to investigate. So yeah, so I've brought all this stuff forward. You can see a lot of these trees and logs and stuff is pretty heavily damaged. Termite and ant and bugs and stuff, which we have our house protected from pests and whatnot because we live up here next to this forest. But anyway, I'm thinking about, trying to not clear too much because I don't want to disrupt the land, but it's quite a significant grade there. So I've been bringing all this kind of sticks and stuff forward and filling up. I think it's going to decompose down pretty good once we have some soil. I am realizing though, along this edge here going to where Nova is standing, I am going to have to build up some sort of a proper border for at least the first section, the first tier of the raised bed. Or I could just do the soil. I'm not sure. But this is what I've got so far. All right, y'all, they are here with a truckload of dirt. I know I called them, but they never called me back. They never confirmed anything, and they haven't even charged me yet. So I gotta go quick and move my truck and everything. This guy's super friendly though. That's not coming out. I mean, it is, but that's not, there it goes, there it goes. And he's gonna drive a little forward. Okay, this is more, okay, I guess it's filter. It's not gonna be very good soil, huh? That's okay, I just need to fill it. I need to, I'm gonna have to be, I'm gonna be shoveling and shoveling. What do y'all think? Good decision? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I know I ordered filter, and she said, well, there might be some sand or some clay. Is this what I wanted, or should I have paid more for topsoil? And is this really worth 500 bucks? Oh my goodness. Sorry, the lady's mowing her lawn next door. Not, you know, sorry, not sorry, but this looks almost kind of wet maybe, and maybe it is. I don't know, but we got to move this to the backyard, so let's get on our boots and our shovel and let's get to it. All right, y'all, I've been out there shoveling for an hour, and I guess, you know, mistakes were made. I think mistakes were made. And when will I ever learn my lesson? Probably never. When I called this morning and talked with the landscape folks, they said, yeah, fill dirt is dirt with sometimes a little bit of clay, sometimes a little bit of sand. And the 16 cubic yards that I wanted, the truckload, would be about 500 to 700 bucks. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. And I even asked questions about like the difference between fill dirt and topsoil, because I'm trying to level out like the backyard and whatnot. And she's like, yeah, well, you can grow grass and fill dirt, you know, it'll just take some time compared to topsoil, and topsoil is a bit more expensive. So I was like, okay, cool. I thought it was really good. Gave her my info. First off, she never once called back to double check, confirm, like, oh, they'll be here at 3 o'clock today. So I was surprised when that guy showed up, as you could tell. And I'm out there shoveling, and it is just clay. It is just wet, hard, solid, huge, like dumps of clay. There's no dirt. When I think of dirt, I think of like fine, dusty dirt that doesn't have like much active anything in it, you know, just like dirt. This is all clay. And I just checked my bank account. They charged me $856. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought she said between 500 to 700. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not thorough enough. I don't know. But I was like, 500 to 700 seems reasonable for a truckload of dirt. But the fact that this is all clay, hard, wet, compact chunks, huge, heavy chunks of clay, and $856. So I just called and I talked to her and I was like, hey, like I thought when we talked earlier, you said dirt with maybe some clay. She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, but this is literally all clay. Like this is not dirt. There's not 1 ounce of dirt in this. It's literally all clay. She goes, well, it just depends on the dig site. Yeah, but like, where's the dirt? You know what I mean? And then I was like, and also when we talked this morning, you said between 500 and 700, why am I charged $856? And she's like, well, that was just a range. And I was like, yeah, but this is 156 more dollars than the maximum that I was quoted. Well, it just depends, you know, once we run the numbers. And I was like, but I never heard back from you. You just bill it, just charge it. She's like, well, we've never had a problem before. And I was like, yeah, but like maybe y'all don't do residential or something. Like, that's a lot more money extra than the highest quote that you gave me. And it's a horrible product. It's just clay. Like, there's not any dirt. She was like, well, it was just a quote. And I was like, I have never, like, everybody I've dealt with here in the South has been, well, the ones that like talk to you and actually show up have been so friendly and so kind. The delivery guy was super friendly. But this lady, I can't, like, maybe it's on me to expect like a 500 to 700 is pretty variable. Like, that's a $200 difference. But an extra 200 on top of that, it just seems like way too much. I just feel like we don't have that. This was supposed to be a good amount of dirt to fill as much as we could. Not necessarily, like, we don't just have $856 to throw out the window for just clay. And the clay, it's probably going to work. It's probably going to work to fill in some of that. It's probably not going to wash away right away with rain or whatever. And so maybe, you know, the Lord is looking out and maybe it's a blessing, and I don't know, but like, and I don't order dirt very often. I don't. But you saw that red cinder that we had delivered in Hawaii? Each one of those huge truckloads of red cinder was only $500. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check with my husband, but I'm pretty sure. So the fact that we got this load of clay for almost $1,000 is insane to me. Absolutely insane. And I'm not satisfied so at all. And maybe it's on me. Maybe it's on me, and that's okay. And maybe not to, like, I knew it was going to be backbreaking work with a shovel and a wheelbarrow, but I was thinking I was getting dry, dusty dirt. You know what I mean? Not 50-pound huge chunks of clay. Like, that's a different, and the thing that's happening is my shovel is getting the clay on it, right? Obviously. So it's not like shoveling. I was expecting to be like shoveling dirt, not clay. It's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. So it is now, it's been an hour. I've been out there shoveling for an hour, and I've only gotten like not very much done. But I'm also already kind of tired because of all of the pulling the yard stuff back. So I think this might be the end of this video of day 2, tearing down the fence and building these beds. You know, maybe this was a bad idea. You never know until you just jump right in. And I do jump right in. And maybe I'm just hoping that this is money well spent and not a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully this clay is like perfect. Maybe that's the Lord is looking out and he's like, I know you said you wanted dirt, but what you really need is clay. So let's just consider that a blessing.